solo stream for now. Okay, we are gonna be leaving this game and waiting for the Algahra fleep0 game. It is a fire chicken matchup. Algahra is playing Big Glory Phoenix. That's probably the easiest way to throw it out there. This list now has the correct Suke, which is helpful. Much better stats than the original one. And yeah, just Big Glory, Big Honor, Soul Beyond Reproach, Voice of Honor. Pardon me. Yeah, it's a reliable deck, I think. fleep0 is playing Echo's Bird. So we see the wide range of one-ofs for variety and utility. We've got Way to Duty, Revels. Is there a Student of the Tau? Student of the Tau, so that's useful in Way to Duty and City of the Rich Frog. Tadaka, of course, Bashiko. This is a pretty standard deck for this. I don't think there's any new cards in here. Does not look like it. So yeah, this is the tried and true. Okay, and so now we just I may start this a little early. Make sure if they are still going. I hope the calendar was not lying to me. I hope I can read the calendar correctly. It's definitely been one of those weeks. Three to four. Yep, nope. That is supposed to be going on. Okay, cool. I only have to look slightly unprepared. I believe we are in the Those Who Persevere bracket, is what it's being called as. The top 8 is going tomorrow. We're starting at sometime 16 UTC, which I think that's like 10 o'clock in the morning for me. I don't know. I'll be streaming. We've got, let's see if I can get this over onto the screen. This is the bracket that we're looking at for top 8. Zarzucket, Keikori, Nakazuma, Pinterpin, Mosey, Villabriga, Jeremy, and Usagi. So I hope you people like seeing red and blue matchups, because it is all Crane, all Scorpion, all crap. Welcome to the world we live in. Let me ping them, make sure the game is still going on. Otherwise, I will switch over to the hccdespoiler Ammanas game. Nope, that's the reports. Ah, yes, we did have Pack 4 previews. I'm excited. Let me pull up the link. Thank you for giving me something to talk about, so you guys don't have to listen to me hem and haw for a couple minutes. News. Actually, if they are already posted to spoilers, how the hell? Well, okay, so Skin of Fulang. Let's. Dash unique character, pretty straightforward. Restricted, pretty straightforward. You may trigger each ability on each character with no fate on it as if you controlled that character. Each opponent cannot trigger those abilities. I mean, it seems like it works to quote-unquote punish Dire a little bit. What's the discussion about how it does or does not work? I'm reading this as pretty straightforward. How Kaizen works with this. Okay, let's, before we dive down this rabbit hole, let's make sure. Nope, they're still not there, so we can go down this road. LCG rule questions. Uh, oh my god, 87 messages. I control Kakita Kaizen, no fate. Place skin of Fu True. Who chooses the target for Kaizen's duel? Is this less of an issue with the skin of Fu Lang and more of an issue with how wacky the templating was? Your opponent chooses the character they control. Yeah, no. So I think Skin of Fu Lang is pretty clear. I think this is just another case of wacky templating from core making everyone's life difficult. Um, if I'm really digging the Kaizen dueling himself, though. While this character is participating in the conflict, your opponent must choose a participating character he or she controls. So, in my non-rules thing, if you have Kaizen as your only character and I trigger his ability, I can't trigger his ability because I assume the dual templating, hope to Christ, says somewhere that you can't duel yourself, or it doesn't have provisions for that. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I understand the necessity for getting a ruling on it, but it very much feels like it's, yeah. I like Skin of Fu Lang. I think it's going to punish Dyer. I think it's a thing that might need punishing. Here is my namesake, Yogo Dunzo. Uh, Dyer, choose a character, discard all fate from that character, so kills people. That's kind of spicy. Choose a character you control, move any amount of fate from that character to your fate pool. Yeah, right? I mean, I do main Scorpion a lot. I may try and squeeze him in some non-Scorpion decks for maybe some odd draft formats. I'm going to enjoy the shit out of playing Blackmail. I always have enjoyed playing Blackmail, but this card means I can steal Fate off of the character. Um, I don't know if it's insanely broken. He does do weird things with Shadow Step, though, right? Because then you can, if you Shadow Step him, he gets to do everything twice. Shadow Step, I think this is going to cause more weird rules interactions than anything else we've seen so far. Because I'm assuming that, you know, if I, and again, like, this entire cycle seems dedicated to me being able to leverage Blackmail in new and exciting ways. Yeah, ambushing Junzo is a nasty thing. But Shadow Step, you know, I can blackmail your character, pull the fade off with Junzo, Shadow Step the character to keep him if he's got some ability. Because I'm assuming once this leaves play and comes back in, it's coming in as a new instance, so it is your character for that turn. So I can definitely see Crab Splash for Ceaseless Duty and Reprieve being hilarious with Shadow Step. It's also a good way to clear bad attachments. I dig the art on Unleashed Experiment. Those stats are kind of scary for the cost. I wish I could get a better view of what was going on with the art, though. Besides that thing just flipping its shit and looking like it's destroying tables. Okay. Um, Dragon gets its own cancel. So, yeah, I think this having a political stat feels a little wacky, right? Because I do not see this thing making an appearance in court and having a positive impact on anyone's argument for what's going on. Let me pause for a second just to make sure that this is still going on. Yeah, I'll hop into Ammanas game if it's not. We can see it there. It's a lion deck, so I have plenty of experience streaming that, right? Um, Fleep. Oops, that's all that right. We'll see if they respond to that. In the meantime, back to this. Dragon getting a cancel is kind of neat. Tell you what, we will hop into this game real quick. We'll fly in blind. And if I get pinged from fleep0 or Algahra, we'll hop over to that one. City, ooh. Okay. What have we got here? City deck against what appears to be, oh, there's two renowned singers. That's going to be great. What did we miss turn one? Let's see, manipulator bids, sure, that makes sense. A lot of fate flying, fertile fields, storehouse, court games, Tessin. Silent One's Monastery still up, and then there's an assassination. Looks like not a whole lot happened turn one. Yeah, I mean, does he have any of the... I'll be interested to see if the Dishonor loop for Lion can actually bust through City of the Open Hand's resilience to being dishonored. So where we go? We got Gifted Tactician going at Silent One's Monastery. I know Panos has some very strong opinions about Silent One's Monastery. I think it's a fine card. Problem is, it is largely farmable. Oop, there's a start. Tactical Ingenuity finds a backhanded compliment, so we see City triggered kind of reflexively. I think it's a fine card for Scorpion to have. I think it's just another one of those cards that feels that much worse because City of the Open Hand exists, right? Like, out of any other box, that just lets Scorpion draw more cards more than anything else. I think its actual toxicity comes with City being what it is. Okay, we see the start of the loop. Exposed Courtyard fires, pitches a Bonsai Natessin. Chris picks Backhanded Compliment and plays Backhanded Compliment. I assume he's going to have two more in hand. I know he's going to go digging for another one off of TI. Finds the Backhanded Compliment. There's a win. There's a gift the tactician to draw a card. He'll probably gain 2 so he can trigger the renowned singers. So if he has another... Oh, apparently the game will start in 20 minutes for fleep and Algahra. Okay, so yeah, we have time to take this in. Oh, he only gains 1, so I'm assuming he has another means to gain an honor, or he doesn't have the entirety of the loop able to fire. Yeah, last minute change on the fleep Algahra game, so no bigs. There's a fertile fields to draw a card. Fire ring resolves. We'll probably see Ammanas honor someone. I probably wouldn't have honored the gossip. Well, do you know if this deck has a way to just gain honor off of cards are good? Because, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the idea of running provinces, right? None of them are good to attack into. We see a Tessin come down, so that explains why he honored that. I think we see a political earth, digging for more cards. While this is going on, let me... I don't know if I can rename my stream from here. It'll be what it is. It's fine. At Way with Words. Okay, so that's the other honor gain. So if he has a backhanded in hand, he can take whatever card he wants because Ammanas should never ever pick the backhanded compliment at this point. Although, if he has the one, he's going to win the game. This is a deck I'm going to try and actually throw together for locals. Fingers crossed that's supposed to meet this weekend. Although it is still a little bit Mask of the Red Deathy over here. Okay, Shameless moves the token over to Fawning to try and stay afloat. Yeah, it's Dishonor, which is supposed to be toxic, but given the theme of Lion recently, it's okay because it's yellow. Okay, takes the Way with Words. What splash are they on? There's a second Way with Words, so it's a good thing that happened. If he's on air, Soul Beyond Reproach would be really, really good. Court Games is not going to be enough. There's Court Games to Dishonor. Voice of Honor, nice. All he needs is one more political, and he may drag himself away from the brink of defeat. Hang on a second. My camera's off center. It's driving me nuts. I tried to make more space. There we go. That feels better. Okay, does not win the conflict, so loses an honor. There's a backhanded, and that was kind of anticlimactic. I mean, it was what was going to forever happen given the state, but yep, hitting the Voice of Honor is definitely what killed him. At a 1 in 7 chance. I don't know. I don't like the Fawning Diplomat play of moving the token onto the Diplomat. That would have put him 1 higher. Um, yeah, see, that's the thing is like if you were losing anyway, so if you were gonna allow that to happen, I guess. Okay, no, so he moved the token over to protect his ability to voice, because otherwise the court games would have dishonored it, would have tried to dishonor it. I don't know, that just feels so weird. Also, the court games when he honored himself feels like it would have been better to dishonor one of hccdespoiler's characters. Um, Instead, I don't know that that exchange felt a little. Yeah, I mean, he could have been planning to win after the first court games after recalling in favors. Um, but I don't know. It just, like, if you're looking for the biggest impact to the board or to the conflict, dishonoring a character on Lion's side would have been much more impactful, right? Because then you could still voice the first, or you could still voice the follow-up court games, and you would have won that conflict. Um, and then you would have stolen an honor, and then you still had a fawning diplomat leaving place. So you would have been afloat and possibly eking it out. I don't know. Um, it's also kind of hard to judge because we weren't here for the first like half of the game since this ended turn two. Um, and sometimes seeing how they arrive to a board state can give context for how it ended. Okay, so we still have about 10 minutes. So back to these. Let me get out of this game though, so it can die. Um, yeah, so Dragon gets a cancel. Kind of interesting. Uh, Helps protect their towers. Um, it it feels weird, especially since there's a card in this cycle, Curse of Butterfingers to strip attachments. Um, but I'm really wondering if there is some kind of niche IMC Dragon deck that plays Curse on itself and then just walks forward and doesn't have to worry about being hit by shit like Above Question or Cloud the Mind or any negative things or formal invites. But on its own, I think Dragon getting a cancel is really good for them. It gives them something. I don't like that it continues to push them into uh, all the attachments. There's a Scorp Splash IMC deck running around already using Keen Warrior and hand control. Yeah, I've also yeah, because of the Keen Warrior, Meek Informant, all the hand peak stuff. Um, yeah, the one thing I don't like about this cancel is that it keeps pushing Dragon into a state of, hey, keep towering things in the same cycle where Curse of Butterfingers and Sanguine Mastery exists. Um, because I believe Sanguine Mastery doesn't target the character. Legend of the Dragon Clan, the Two Towers. They keep falling though. Choose up to X attachments. Yeah, so this doesn't target the character, so that cancel does nothing for it. Granted, it's a role locked, clan locked Maho spell, so maybe that's enough to keep it in check. Um, Curse of Butterfingers definitely being a neutral card is going to hamper towers quite a bit. I'm assuming that's blessed by Fukurokujin. attached. Well, presumably attached. I'm gonna guess the attached character can't be dishonored. Maybe. Also seems like a nice thing. And I have no idea what that crane card does, unless there is another version of the fan. I know there's another version of the fan. Oh, there's two. Wow, we got a bunch of cards out of this. Okay, there's Cancel. There's something called Untainted. I don't know why this is so potatoey all of a sudden. Talented Performer. So this character must be chosen as the target of each event, if able. That could be interesting. That is a little double-sided, though. Although you could build a attachment-heavy deck, and that way you don't have to get hampered by this. It's just your opponent's stuff. Dark Resurrection, Earthroll, Maho Spell. This card's fate cost can only be paid with fate on characters you control, so standard stuff. During a military conflict, choose up to 3 characters, each with printed cost 3 or lower in your Dynasty discard pile. Put those. Okay, so it's cav reserves without the cavalry trait, just cost restricted. I like it. I like that it's also 1 influence. I really don't see. Oh, and Dishonored. Oh yeah, End of Conflict Dishonored. I like this card. I don't think this card is for Unicorn. I don't think they get anything out of Earthroll. They might, though. I haven't kept up on it. And it's worse than Cav Reserves for that. But I do still like the effect. No, I imagine not, right? Because I have to imagine they have the most 3-cost fake cards in the game. And they, more than any other clan, kind of live and die by those events clearing, right? Oh, come on. That. And events. Oh, no, I'm super fucking wrong. They are basically the only clan that runs a 3-cost event. They just don't have the most. I guess that goes to Crane. Oh no, Crane has 2, Crab. So Crane and Lion have the most. None of those really get played. So just ignore all that I just said. I don't see this taking over a spot for Cav Resource Form, though. I think this is a card that is for other clans in Unicorn Splash. The Earthroll lock feels kind of thematic, though, which is nice, and I just closed Jigoku like a goober. That way we can see when the game comes up. Okay, cool. So this is one thing I'm not a huge fan of the splash mechanics for this game. I think it's overly restricted or restrictive on the influence cost, but when a card comes out that just looks like it's clearly not for that clan. Unicorn already has a 3-cost event that pulls stuff from their discard pile. This is not for Unicorn, but they put it in Unicorn so that if you want this effect, you have to splash Unicorn. It just sucks that Unicorn is getting a card that's not for them when they need a bunch of help. Yeah, Talented Performer does stop Common Cause, because no one realizes that it can target. I say no one realizes. It's not common that it targets your opponent's characters, so it could straighten and honor them. The one downside is this also restricts your own events. So Way of the Cranes, Soul Beyond Reproaches, um, bonsais. Don't assassinate if it's on the table. You know, this is a symmetrical effect you have to build around to actually leverage correctly or leverage well. But I do think it can completely fuck with your opponent's game plan, which definitely makes it worth exploring. Uh, Next fan is all right. We have a Crane. I'm going to assume that's a duelist because it's a Kakita card. It's got pride and some kind of forced reaction. Um, Looks good for the stats. Even with one or two glory, I think that card will be pretty good. I mean, it sums up all of Crane in general. Young Philosopher, Shugenja Air Scholar. Okay, so double the price of the Naive Scholar for double the stats and a more useful keyword-ish. Maybe. But no free draw, right? Which is, I think, the better part of the Naive Scholar. Meticulous Scout is 1 drop, 2/0, 1 glory, Seeker roll only. If you've gained 2 or more honor, choose a province an opponent controls, place a dishonor status token on that province and reveal it if able, while province has a dishonor status token. Okay, this is fucking ridiculous. So far, all of the um, the dishonor tokens to provinces have been one-shot events, which kind of keeps them in check, right? Because they're one-shots. This, if you've gained 2 or more honor, is not actually a gate. Like, if you win the air ring, you can shut off a province? How is that good? I mean, like, for the game. Because provinces are supposed to be the big swing things, right? Lion. I mean, also this card means Sonuri realistically doesn't get picked because this card does it as well and can happen at any point in the phase. And Dragon and Unicorn are the only ones that can. No, Lion. Oh yeah, Lion can also interact with the Dishonored tokens. Lion and Dragon, if you flip the province face down, the token falls off, so that goes away. But Lion also has that fucking the Scout that lets you move Dishonored tokens. So Lion gets to do it the best, and yeah, Fearless Skirmisher. Thank you. Lion gets to do it the best, and also be. Oh, it's keeper roll only. Okay, I don't have to go on a rant about that because it helps if I look at the cards. I'm glad those two are separate. I have an issue with this card though, because we've seen how potent province blanking is. Sonuri and Pathfinder's Blade are on the RL as choices, and this card just gets to do it again. I hate the fact that this card exists. It's fucking ridiculous. Solitary Hero is 3 fate for 3/1 X Duelist. Character can't be evaded. During a conflict in which this character is participating on your side alone, I can't even make that out. Yeah, that's not helpful. I can't read that. So, on to the game, because I saw that they had started it. Watch. So, yeah, that Lion card is, I think, not good for the game. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Probably a Fate would be my guess. Because this is all about enabling Dire. Um, if Dragon's getting a theme of ordinary characters, it could also hit tokens. Getting something to drink sounds good. I'm gonna go grab a beer and be right back. Okay. Whoop. Oh, good. That was off camera. That was gonna be incredibly suggestive. Otherwise, my beer got excited and started foaming. Okay, so yeah, 3-1 that strips Fate could be good. Since they haven't started quite yet. It's got to be something real short, right? Because there's not a lot of room left after a remove on that card. So, yeah, my assumption would be that it strips Fate. Alright, and we are off. We have Echo's Bird versus Big Glory Phoenix. I went over the decks when I started the stream, but it's Echo's Bird versus Big Glory, so nothing terribly surprising in either of them. I think Algahra may have something of an edge just from access to cancels, because he's running 3 censures, 2 voices, and fleep is only running 2 censures. So if Algahra gets the favor, it's going to be a big deal. We see a student of the Tau get bought with 3 fates. This feels like an awkward start, because fleep Tadaka in disguise. Yeah, Tadaka likes to wear a dress. Who knew? It's fun. So we're probably going to see Celebrated Renowned Fire. Oh no, we just see a pass. Okay, so wanting 2 Fate. What costs 2 Fate in Algahra's deck? Field of Ruin is good. Cloud the Mind's useful. Fate for Tadaka. And Clarity and Against the Waves. Okay, so bunch of cards to use there. Fleepa hits the Forgotten Library with the Bustling Academy. Student of the Tau is in fact a scholar, and I think I zoomed out by accident on this one. No, we're still good. Okay. Field of Ruin that's going to cause a lot. I like the play, because Field of Ruin on City of the Rich Frog is just a bunch of discard value. Problem is, against Echo's Bird, is you are doing a bunch of work for him. But it does get rid of 2 Secluded Shrines. Algahra is the first player, so that will get to trigger before the Shrines do. So I guess he kind of had to do that, because otherwise he couldn't attack successfully and wouldn't get favor, which I think is going to be very important in this game, but I could very well be wrong. Passes his conflict. I think he's waiting for Fleepa to hit a Void Province. Senpuku Saido is a good hit. No conflict characters to defend with, and Uona will just Bow a participating character, so it's probably going to break anyway. Wandering Mediator can be played into this, or can be played afterwards. The sad part for Algahra is that it's not a void province for Student of the Tau. No defense pass, so willing to lose a card, Sanpuko, and an honor for it. Pitches a Consumed by 5 Fires. Is Consumed by 5 Fires effectively a dead card for this matchup? I definitely see it not being super valuable, especially since they're going to be cheating characters in anyway. Okay, Algahra passes second conflict. Fleep0 finds Manicured Garden. So definitely playing for favor here. Oh no, defense with a student, plays a clarity. Okay. There's a Walking the Way, probably hoping to find a bird. Ends up pitching a Sukune for a Suke. So already loading up the discard pile. Algahra gains a Fate. My Ancestor Strength to set base skills. We see a Court Games up. Is there a corresponding Court Games down? Shrine Maiden works just as well. It does kill Shrine Maiden, but gets against the Waves and Cloak of Night. I think if you're Algahra here, you don't care too much about winning. See a Mediator come down, apparently cares about winning. Gets the Fire Ring. Didn't have a conflict afterwards. Gains the favor. Probably has a bunch of censures. When I say a bunch, he's down to 4 cards in hand. That was an expensive turn for Algahra. I think fleep0 definitely came out ahead in that exchange, aside from the Broken Province. There's a Naive Student, 2 Solemn Scholars, and the Ethereal Dreamer. So what? Let's see, there's a Fushiko Suki. This is interesting. So we see a Solemn Scholar get bought. There is a Secluded Shrine there. I think Algahra maybe wants to fire off the Seasons. Because otherwise you're going to lose. Yep, he does fire the Seasons. There's an Oona dupe, which ain't great. A Forgotten Library, which is also equally not great, but it goes away. That was an absolute terrible flip for Algahra, though. Jesus. Doesn't buy anything past it, so going into the next fate, it's going to have all the monies. Consumed by 5 Fires. Actually looking like a viable option right now. There will be at least 1 Fushiko in the discard pile, so hopefully Algahra does in fact have a censure. I'd feel a lot more comfortable with that over Voice of Honor. Ethereal Dreamer goes for Void. Field of Ruin pitches more cards. fleep0 already down to 15 cards, so we could very easily see a Dynasty reshuffle. There's a Void Conflict. I think you kind of have to go back to Manicured Garden. Student of the Tau defends. I think we're going to see... What does this do anyway? During a conflict at an air province, move this character to the conflict or move it home. Okay. Sure, why not? This is a military conflict, so it's likely to just get bowed by Uona. Algahra does have Against the Waves. Oh, Cloak of Night. That'll keep it good and safe. And also make breaking this a challenge. fleep0 is not going to play into this, so he just passes. Military Water. Not a bad conflict. Forces an Uona defense. Actually, I guess it doesn't, because it can just get bowed here. But even getting bowed the favor means it's still a win. So fleep0 is going to have to defend with more than one or play cards, and seeing as how it's almost a 2-to-1 advantage on cards, he's got some room to play with here. This is a nice low-key attack. Algahra doesn't have to play any cards to get the effect he wants here, but fleep0 has to spend cards to stop it. He's having to think about how much he cares. And turns out he does not care. There's a pass, so Student of the Tau straightens. And again, I think the only real conflict that's available is a political conflict at the Manicured, which can easily be defended by the student. Especially if there's enough clarity in hand. But this time it is susceptible to the Uona bow. There's the defense and the pass. Cloak of Night hits the Student of the Tau. Okay, so now it can't be straightened with anything, really. Okay, going for a break here. That is the second of, I believe, 2 Ancestor Strengths? Nope, 3. Okay. There's a pass, so Manicured Garden's going to go away. Tadaka coming down would be really good. Although now Algahra is running, we've seen fire and air, so there's probably a second air, frostbitten, and shameful. So maybe hanging on to the student's not a terrible idea. Makes those shameful conflicts even more tedious than they usually are. Because you're going to keep favor, which is important. No, we've seen it against the waves. That'll work too. Ulona's been used and can't defend, so this could be a relatively free break. Goes to the, yep, gonna avoid that. Finds way to duty. It's a good hit. I don't think fleep0 has, he's got Shrine Maidens, and we see a Shrine Maiden, so that's gonna bow the student. Finds a Soup Storm and kills a Tadaka in a Court Games. That was a bad Shrine Maiden. There's a pass. We'll see the sack into Dishonor. No stand. That is unfortunate. Wait, no! No, Algahra should have used the Student of the Tau and sent the Shrine Maiden home. That's a misplay. fleep0 stands a Solemn Scholar. Steal Favor. Plays a Censure. There's a Consumed by 5 Fires. Algahra saying, damn it, I'm wondering if they just realized that they could have sent the Shrine Maiden home from weight of duty. Chicken is on the menu tonight, boys. And it's been cooked. So fleep0 gains an honor, which is actually not nothing, given the fact that that Field of Ruin is just churning cards off of City of the Rich Frog. There's the Emperor, which is great with all that money. 2 Seasons of War. I think nope, goes for a second student. I would have absolutely bought the Emperor there. There's a Mystic with 0. That is definitely going to blow up the Field of Ruin. I think you absolutely Season of War here again, though. Buys a Dreamer, fleep passes. Yeah, so it's... maybe I'm just greedy. I would have absolutely seasoned here just to get those extra cards out of it. Because that would have put fleep0 at... would have lost another 6, 9 cards. Would have put him at 5 cards in his Dynasty. There's a low bid because that was going to happen. So fleep0 is now fairly safe from dishonoring due to the reshuffle. I don't think he's honoring out because he's going to get milled next turn. Political Earth at the Ancestral Shrine. I do think that the misplay around that Shrine Maiden at weight of duty is going to cause some issues. That could have been a very easy break, and he'd still have an honored student, which would have made another easy break for this turn. Finds Manicured Garden. That is a reasonably safe place to go run face first into. Going with 5. Now, thing to be aware of is I believe fleep0 is on Display of Power. And there it is. Algahra loses a bonsai for it. The Earth Ring is simultaneously like, I think, the best ring and the worst ring to get hit with on a display of power, because the benefit your opponent gets is not super great. So no defense pass. We're going to see probably a pass here. Actually, pushing the break might not be terrible. Nope, he wants to keep his hand. Mystic gets honored, which makes sense because Algahra is on Crane Splash with Soul Beyond Reproaches. So that turns off any potential voices Algahra may have in hand if he had a way to honor a student. So does that mean, since that's upholding authority, that Shameful is under the box for Algahra to get the maximum economy from the other air province, Frostbite and Crossing, which is absolutely a dead card. I would probably have thrown that in a row. Does not attack. Needing to keep favor. Makes sense. I don't like the tempo cost for that, but I don't know that you have a whole lot of choice. Readies the Mystic off against the waves. Alright. So this is going to be a free attack. Oh no, Algahra defends, so clarity of purpose would make sense, because otherwise it's going to lose the favor. We see a Court Games up. There's Court Games down. Absolutely stunning core gameplay. Soul Beyond Reproach feels expensive. There's a pass. We need to see a clarity or a stand. There's clarity. So Algahra did need to Court Games up because they couldn't pass. Okay, there's the third, My Ancestor Strength. To push for a win here. Who knew the Mia family had a big old fiery phoenix in its family tree? Yeah, no, that's nothing I need to worry about so far. So box goes a good ways here. Actually, no, I would have liked Algahra Court Gamesing the Mia Mystic down, because then I imagine fleep0. Well, I guess it wouldn't have changed anything. It would have provided an opportunity for fleep0 to make a mistake, and Court Games a student of the Tau down, just to get maximal value out of the Soul Beyond Reproach. There's a pass from Algahra, so he's fine with it not breaking and losing a turn off the student. And yep. Then again, Algahra, he's going to lose a bunch of honor anyway, so I don't. Yeah, he's going to end up real high. but I don't think it's going to matter anyway. Maintains the favor. Field is gone. Yeah, but he's. Oh yeah, no field. Okay, yeah. No more mill. Well, he might have a second field, right? He is running 2, and he's seeing half the deck. So there's 21 honor. So now we're super in the 1-bid game. Keeps the seasons, so mill is still likely to happen. Go Phoenix honor. I will go buy a hat to eat if this game ends on someone honoring out. There's another Hantai. We see Season of War, just snap fire. I think there's a student at the Tau, so those shameful display conflicts are going to be super fucking awkward now. And that means that Algahra can really only run at... I'm going to assume that's into the Forbidden City. fleep0 buys a student, Algahra passes. Gotta be a Tadaka in hand. There's another Uona. I mean, you have to bid 1, right? Algahra bids 2. Shows what the fuck I know. Apologies for the weird dog noises. One of them is having a very intense dream. Yeah, I really don't want to have to go buy a hat to eat, so I really hope that doesn't happen. Air ring and someone dying honorable. Yeah. I'm personally going to be upset. So, Shameful is under the box, so Frostbitten Crossing is effectively dead. Military conflict because Uona's there. Maybe. We'll see how it actually turns out. If you got to choose, what kind of hat would you pick? Okay, there's a Tadaka. That is safe from Uona. We are out of my ancestor's strengths. Wearing his hat. Yeah, and I bet that's a real tough and fibrous hat to try and eat, so hopefully he can protect me from that too. That Tadaka does feel a little late though. Oh no! I've been disconnected. Is everyone still here? Do I have to eat my hat? Is this what saves me from eating a hat? fleep is still here, so I'm gonna fire Kyunasawa. Okay, everyone appears to be present, so it's a thing that's gonna happen. Trick of the Light is being discarded. I have to imagine that's the wrong pile. I have to imagine we're going to see my ancestor's strength get played again. And that's what happens. No cancel for that, so come on, Algahra. You are my last line of defense here. We should see a Tadaka trigger. There should be plenty of cards to pick from. Yeah, I think if you wanted to, you could see most of his hand. 7 cards. I actually think that's the entirety of available cards. I know, he kept 1 Emperor in the pile. Soup Storm, Trick of the Light, Forebears Echoes, Censure, Assassination, Trick of the Light, Court Games. Not that I think it's going to be super pertinent. But for completeness sake. And they killed a Soup Storm. There's a Bonsai. There's a successful defense on the air ring. Victory. There's a water conflict at Revels. Yeah, Algahra has been... Now, there is no hat eating for dishonor, only for honor. There's the defend. There's thinking about defending. I don't think you can super defend this. And presumably that's out of the... Yep, he's at 5 because of the favor. So defending here means cards have to be played. Probably... Oh no, there's no Tadaka opportunity because fleep is short on cash. Trick of a Light to blank Student of the Tau. Out because it's an air spell. There's a bow off of Uona. Favor still doing its work though. And that is all Algahra was looking for. And that's a pass, which is good for Algahra because that's a stand and a point of honor, which is kind of important. No against the waves, so Midnight Revels hasn't fired, so I think you actually have to run at weight of duty, which is probably the safest place to go. Oh, and get shoved out by student. I'm stupid. You are correct. I guess that works too, if you go with 2. All the Shrine Maidens are dead. Correct? Yep, all 3 Shrine Maidens are dead. So even getting shoved out here is fine. Cracking weighted duty is actually kind of a big deal here. So court games, Soul Beyond Reproach. Is he on fans? There's a court games, that'll work. There's court games down, so that no longer works. But we do see a set of Fantanas, so decides to go with Soul Beyond. Breaking here is a big deal. Uona's definitely going to get voided. fleep0 being slowly pulled away from the brink of an honor victory. Yeah, I think the hat is safe too. I hope the hat is safe because we are going to see Dynasty Mill going into next turn. Algahra gains the safety honor that's needed. I was. No, like, no joke. I was like, I am going to have to go get a hat and attempt to find a way to eat it. That would do so much unpleasant shit to my insides. I guess I could make like a hat out of fondant or something. At least it would be edible if even though it tastes like shit. Okay. Algahra's still in it. There's a Dynasty Mill, which is a big deal because there's also a Fushiko, and it's now a largely dead card. Algahra is going to have to start looking at his honor total a little more closely. A Phoenix-colored Spanish hat. Yeah, I was about to say Algahra needs to start looking at his honor very closely as well and prioritize an air ring. We do see a season happen, and then a pass. There's another student at the Tau, so Midnight Revels is the place to be. Fleep0 maintaining. God, there's never two bed. There's a lot more back and forth. I will grant you that. But I do think Scorpion Mirror matches are really interesting. I enjoy the head bending that goes on in those games. And we have a day full of Crab, Crane, and Scorpion tomorrow, so look forward to that. Algahra having a long think about this, so I assume there's never a Field of Ruin in hand. Decides to say Fate. I think you'd be Crane. I'm going to go based off of the main clan, not Splash. Wait. Scorp, Splash, Crane. Are you... No. God damn it. Words are hard. You are maining Crane in this. Yeah, Sevenfold Palace. Yeah, no, so it's Crane. Yeah. Alright, there's a political void at Midnight Revels. This is a straight up attempt at murder. And we are having to see Tadaka try and eke out some cards. I think Algahra has done a really good job of playing behind on card advantage. There's been a lot of, I feel, good plays being done. So there's the Defender of the Student. It's political, so how many court games have we seen? 1, 2. All 3 court games are gone, so Algahra should win this, if not break. Fleep0 has Cloak and Knighted his own student. That's a thing we actually have to check. I don't believe there's a way for Fleep0 to honor. No. So now we're going to see... I'm just going to close this, because who knows what cards we have or have not seen. Yeah, it does stop the Eugenia trigger, but it also super doesn't matter, I don't think. Because there's going to be a break. fleep0 is on Into the Forbidden City on box, so keeping that student is not super critical because it's going to get voided and die anyway. Trick of the Light goes away. Soup Storm. Okay, we are seeing that is I feel a bold censure. Actually, less so. No, because there's money on rings. I think that's a bold censure. So you have to have either a voice in hand. 3 censures, 2 voices. So there is 2. So voice is turned on, and censure still on. So there's a cancel for this defense feels odd as well. So I assume we're going to see an Against the Waves. No Against the Waves. Okay, Algahra taking a slower, more methodical approach to this. There's a Tadaka coming down. An air ring here will basically be lethal. So if there's an Against the Waves, it needs to happen. And we see an Against the Waves, which is good. Student of the Tau should be able to successfully defend against the Tadaka attack. There is an Ancestral Shrine he can make use of. Can he make use of it? Yeah, because discards don't happen until after Fake Face action window. Goes Political Water. Why water? Water will get you the favor if you win it, but if you win it, it feels like you're more poised to win the game off of an air ring. I guess the Ancestral Shrine will keep things afloat. That Dynasty Mill making Tadaka have a very small pile, sees a fine katana and a soul beyond reproach. I think you definitely take the soul beyond reproach. Yeah, there's a lot of fate on those rings. I guess Algahra is actually safe because that Ancestral Shrine is there. So the Dishonor should be okay. Not having, I mean, Frostbite Crossing still being up is not great because that's just a farmable province. So I guess you can keep Forgotten Library on there. Oh, did not trigger the Ancestral Shrine. Oh no. That is a problem. Oh, why? Oh, that not triggering that Ancestral Shrine. That's gonna sting. Fires a Season, triggers the Honor Bomb. I think fleep0 definitely came out ahead on that. We're going to see Asuke get honored off the Celebrated Renown. Problem is now Algar's an air ring away from dying. Can't really buy the Mystic, I don't think. Um, Fleep0 could be a right bastard and buy the Ethereal Dreamer with 3 Fate, just to turn off Celebrated Renown, um, which could be hilarious, if a little spiteful. This pause makes me hope he's considering doing that. Nope, just buys the Dreamer with nothing. Algahra passes. I don't know, but I super like that pass. There's 1 bids, unsurprising. Yep, we're going to see fleep0 push for an air ring here. It's got a bunch of money on it. Frostbitten's not going to do anything. Suke's blank because he involves losing honor. Man, oh man, oh man. Drops the katana on there. Drops 2 katanas on him. It's a big push on air, so we clearly have to see a big defend. And there's the big defend, as expected. Tadaka's going to have... Algahra's not going to have a lot of options to play here. That favorable ground is basically it off the Student of the Tau to bring that in, or to bring Ujina in, sorry, Student of the Tau's already in there. IMS can be a number 2, so... Oh, no, I think you do need to defend with everyone, sir. This really kind of limits the tricks. If you're not going to defend with the student, you should defend with Ujina. Algahra needs to play the most valuable card in his hand now. Does not, so Tadaka's going to do Tadaka things. Only needs to kill 3 people. Gets to clarity, so Algahra has nothing in hand. So if fleep0 can get up to 8, there's a 4 Bear's Echoes, and there's a concession. Good news for me, I did not have to eat my hat, because fleep0 did not honor out, so that makes me feel, yep, missing the shrine triggers, definitely lost him the game on this turn, and I think missing the weight of duty break. I mean, I guess the opposite of eating a hat is buying shoes. So, I guess I have to go buy some shoes because the opposite happened? I don't know. Yeah, I think Algahra sees the misplay on the way to duty. He just had to send home the Shrine Maiden. Yeah, top bracket is, there we go. Top bracket. Scorp versus Scorpion. Scorp versus Crab. Scorp versus Crab. Crane versus Crane. Jesus. Bottom bracket. Crane. do you mean Crane versus Phoenix Crab versus? Okay, never mind. Bottom bracket. Crane versus Phoenix, Crab versus Crab. Oh, Crane hasn't played yet. Okay, yeah. Only game to not have Crane or Scorpion is Crab versus Crab, Crane versus Crane, and Crane versus Lion. Oh my god, this fucking game. Yeah. The meta might not be super great at the moment. We seem to be stuck in red-blue meta forever. Anyways, one of those things is not like the others. Yeah, well, I mean, both Crab and Crane are blue-ish. Different shades of blue. Yeah, so I think that is the last game for today. I've missed some messages. That's fine. So, yeah, I think we're good. I will be streaming whatever games I need to stream tomorrow. There's a voice channel set up. If anyone wants to do a Discord call in, I can loop in a whole bunch of people if people want to co-cast. Or if I get pulled away, you can do solo commentary. Either's fine. But yeah, it should be exciting. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.